April 13th, 2029, a speck of light races towards the Earth. It's an 1,100-foot wide asteroid called Apophis. We are about to have an extremely close shave.
It's the closest approach of any asteroid that didn't actually hit us for a long, long time. It will be 10 times closer than the moon itself. It'll be so close, it'll be brighter than some stars.
The football stadium-sized Apophis will race over the Atlantic.
If it were sitting on the surface of the Earth, it would weigh about 50 million tons, something like that. And that is not the place you want it to be. You want it to be in space and far away.
When we discovered Apophis in 2004, we thought it might be on a collision course with Earth, with a potential impact greater than the largest atomic bomb ever exploded.
The largest nuclear device, atomic device ever detonated on our planet was the Tsar Bomba bomb in Russia. This is something like 55 or 56 megatons. When Krakatoa exploded in 1883, that was something like 200 megatons. Apophis impact would be 450 megatons. If something like that were to happen over New York City or Washington, D.C., you're going to lose the city.
The impact would be at least 10 times greater than the simulated asteroid strike on New York.
Well, when you put it in those terms, that's just plain scary.
In a word, an impact from an Apophis-sized asteroid would be bad. Very, very bad.
Apophis's orbit will cross Earth every 7 years this century. It won't hit us in 2029, but this close encounter could change Apophis's orbit.
When a small asteroid encounters a bigger body like a planet, it's like a bunch of roller derby players. Most of them are clumped together, but maybe there's one just on their own particular orbit. And as they circle around, as they get close to that larger clump, there'll be some interactions, potentially violent interactions, that will change the future trajectory of that lone roller derby skater. And the next time around, it might be a wide miss, or it might be a head-on impact.
It's the same in the solar system. The combined gravity of the Earth and Moon creates what's called a gravitational keyhole, a gravitational sweet spot, which could change Apophis's orbit.
That will change the potential future trajectory of this rock and might make it totally harmless, or might increase the chances of an impact even further in the future.
Because of the gravitational keyhole, there's still a small chance that Apophis will hit Earth in 2068.
That is the important lesson that Apophis taught us. You can miss the Earth, but if you pass through one of these keyholes at some time later, you will hit the Earth.
We now know Apophis will miss the keyhole in 2029. But there are other keyholes and other close passes. Apophis is not a lone threat. There are an estimated 832,500 asteroids orbiting the Sun.
Most asteroids live their lives perfectly peacefully past the orbit of Mars or trailing Jupiter and don't mind anybody else and don't cause any troubles. But some asteroids are on very particular orbits that cross the orbit of the Earth.
These asteroids have left the stable orbit of the asteroid belt and moved into orbits that get near our own. These asteroids are called near-Earth asteroids, or NEAs for short.
The near-Earth asteroid population is interesting and potentially dangerous because they're the ones that actually cross the orbit of the Earth. So they're most likely to have, at some point in the future, an impact with the Earth.
Most NEAs pose little or no threat to Earth, but we've detected over 2,000, including the 1,200-foot Apophis, that do. These are called PHAs, potentially hazardous asteroids.
The difference between a near-Earth asteroid and a potentially hazardous asteroid is distance and size. Anything can get near the Earth, and that could be 20 million miles away, something like that, and be a near-Earth asteroid. But a potentially hazardous one can hit us, and it's big enough to do damage. So something that over the next 100 years or so has a chance of hitting us and doing damage when it does, that's a potentially hazardous object.
PHAs are asteroids that are 460 feet or larger that could collide with Earth.
Take a 400-foot asteroid. If it hits, it would release as much energy as 3,000 Hiroshima nuclear bombs.
In July of 2018, NASA published a map of all the known NEAs and PHAs. The animation tracks their discovery from 1999 through 2018.
Every time I look at this animation, it does make my heart stop a little bit, because it looks like we're in the middle of this swarm of angry bees circling all around us.
In 1999, we'd identified under 300 NEAs scattered through the inner solar system. 10 years later, we'd found 500 more. By 2018, we'd discovered 18,000 near-Earth asteroids. But we estimate there are millions out there.
It seems like we could never find all the asteroids. They just keep coming. It's like we're fighting an army of zombies.
Zombies that keep hurtling our way, hitting the Earth at up to 64,000 miles an hour.
That is very, very fast. That is much faster than a rifle bullet. And that's the key to its destructive power.
When a really fast and really large asteroid hits, the impact is off the charts. The blast is so intense, it can melt or even vaporize rock.